Today, I'm critiquing the most expensive home for sale in Silicon Valley. So if you ever decide to build, design, or remodel a home like this, you won't make the same mistake. I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm the guy who makes sure you have the highest resale value when you build, design your dream home. Let's watch this video together. So I just saw this intro and I thought, let me try asking ChatGPT. So I asked, tell me what would Arvin Haddad would say about 349 Walsh Rd, Atherton, California in one sentence. And it said is a classic example of spending Atherton money for frontage and zip code while sacrificing the single most important thing buyers come here for, a usable backyard, an efficient, livable square footage. Dude, I think OpenAI is using my IP. What the hell? How would they know this information? It's correct. Let's watch this video together.
Welcome to Villa Anahit. Situated on a hillside, this 3-story modern home with bold lines is an ambitious project. The build, the all-concrete steel structure, and the features throughout reflect the vision behind this project. Now, this is currently the most expensive home for sale in San Francisco Bay Area, right in the heart of Silicon Valley, where the AI revolution takes shape. So, without further ado, let's go see this incredible property. All right, everyone, once again, welcome to Atherton, California, to the heart of Silicon Valley. Right behind me is a 3-story modern home built into the hillside, and we have so many different areas, zones, and even features to cover.
Okay, before I talk about the architectural style, layout, and lot utilization, let's talk about the location. Because Atherton has consistently been ranked as a top 3 most expensive zip code in all of America for decades, and there are very good reasons for it. One, it's extremely central to all of Peninsula, the most expensive part of the Bay Area. Second, it has humongous lots. They call it Atherton acres, right under an acre, about 0.91, 0.93 of an acre. And almost all of them, except for this one, we're going to talk about it, are all flat. And that's why people go there. But also, there's no sidewalks over here. There's no commercial buildings, condominiums, apartments, gas stations, restaurants. It's strictly high-end residential.
Now, over here we have the 4-car garage, but this is a tandem garage. So you park 2 cars on the back, 2 cars on the front. Now, next up, we have the glass facade, the front door. But before I talk about these details, I want to quickly mention that we have the second staircase on the other side. It takes you up all the way to the pool level. And from here, you can actually see the acrylic front of the pool, which is a very nice contemporary feature. There's also an outdoor seating area on the other side. Again, these beautiful mature trees, and that's a great place for you to sit down, relax, and face your property. Appreciate the architecture here.
Is that a thing people do? Is that what the buyers are asking? Hey, I need a seating arrangement to be able to stare out the front of my house. No, let's talk about the approach first. First of all, you should know that there's no private driveway. You enter sideways to the front, and there's not even a horseshoe driveway, so there's no way out. You have to make a 3-way turn to get out. Now, most importantly, your guests will be really confused. When you come over here, they park inside and they will be like, these stairs look very inviting, and they take you to the backyard swimming pool area. Should I take that or should I take the front door? Now, it's a good thing if you're having an event, let's say for your kids in school, and you don't want people to go through the house. You can set up, all the kids' stuff over here and the kids come over, it's contained. But it also has a negative as to if somebody jumps the fence, this is a really easy way to get into the living quarters of the house. A lot of times people position the front of the house to protect the backyard. Over here, you don't really have a backyard. you have a terrace and you have extremely easy access to it.
Now the home features these bold lines, striking elements. It is definitely an interesting property, and right above me you can see one of those cantilever sections. But given that it's quite high up, instead of using wood paneling on the exterior, they actually used aluminum. That way you don't have to worry about maintaining it, but it still matches the aesthetic of the property. Then off of the entry, we have two oversized reflection pools, and within the pools, we also have built-in planters with these gorgeous olive trees.
Okay, let's talk about the architectural style because it's all over the place. First, they tried to establish where the front door is, and this is very important because you had that side stairways going up, which was super confusing to your guests. They wouldn't know which way to go. So what they did over here, they put two water features on the side and then two olive bushes, I don't call those trees, to bring attention to the front door, and they framed it, right? Now, architecturally speaking, the bottom two floors look like an Apple store, okay? So far, so good. If they left it over there, it would have been very homogeneous, like it had an actual identity. But because they're trying to maximize the square footage over here, they've gone to the third floor where things start popping out, right? You have a cantilever coming out, which draws your attention towards it. And then you have a really ugly corner glass window, which is perhaps the ugliest thing about modern architecture that apparently we still haven't let go of from 2000s.
The foyer of this property is quite impressive. Whether it's the massive opening here, ton of natural light coming in, your limestone floors, travertine case door opening, and this 3-story spiral staircase that looks impressive both on the inside and on the outside. And over here, we have a spacious lounge that I'm going to cover in detail in a second.
Okay, he mentioned foyer and also a lounge. To me, it's neither. This is a building lobby. Let me explain. It feels like you're on the ground level, but you're really in the basement level. Why? Because the living level is upstairs. So when your guests come in, or yourself come in, you come through this floor, there's a garage behind those stairs, you enter this area. You have to take the stairs or the elevator up to the main living quarters where you're going to live the house. This area really functions as a reception area for your guests, which is a really, really weird thing. And when you calculate the total square footage of this property, it's really stretching it to call this area usable. Because even if you have guests over, even if you have people over, why would you host them down here by the motor court?
But first, I want to quickly get the specs of this property out of the way, and bear with me, we got a lot to cover. It has 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, 11,986 square feet. The property is situated on 1.03 acres. And on top of that, it also comes with an ADU that has 2 bedrooms and a spacious living room kitchen area. That's a really cool element. On the market for $57,500,000. And with that price tag, this is the most expensive home for sale in Silicon Valley and in the San Francisco area. So it definitely makes a statement.
In a very obnoxious, almost insulting way. Let me explain. This property fails in 3 fronts that ultra luxury home buyers should pay attention to, and people in Atherton know this, okay? One is location. This is second tier. The best part of Atherton is West Atherton, okay? Between Alameda and El Camino. Second, lot quality. People go to Atherton to buy these flat lots, and this is almost entirely hillside. And third, people want usable square footage. So far on the first floor, I would count 25% of this, let's say 4,000 square foot lower level as usable. The rest, unusable. You would never spend time over here if you purchase this property. Now, let's see how it does on second and third floor.
Now, this lounge is definitely spacious. And over here, we have a really nice wet bar, old cabinetry with these elegant handles, travertine countertop with a travertine backsplash, your sink, floating shelf with LED lighting. And down below, we have 2 wine fridges, 2 regular fridges. So this is definitely a proper bar.
No, it's not. A proper bar would be a setting where there are stools where you can sit down behind it. And this area was always going to be a no man's land, right? Because you enter and there's a wall behind you. So to not give it proper functionality and bring it out of this kind of a building lobby area, this wet bar or kitchenette for that matter, didn't help. It doesn't give me a bar drinking vibe, if that was the purpose of it.
And then on the other side, we have this wine wall. Now, I really like the approach here, how they have 3 sets of glass doors so you can easily access each one of the sections.
Yeah, because it has no depth. It's really a decor, right? You're trying to make that back wall pretty. It's not a proper wine cellar.
Now, next up, Arman, let's bring everybody this way. Right on the other side of the front door, we have this gorgeous living wall. One thing you're going to see in this property is the extensive use of color green, whether it's astroturf, access to the outdoors, the emphasis on natural landscaping, and also how they have these living walls bringing additional life and color to the property. I really like the placement here. As soon as you open up the front door, this is the first thing you see, and it just brings life and energy to this home.
Which is definitely better than just a white wall, okay? I admire the fact that they've tried to give it a functionality, but I really believe this is gonna fail because it doesn't connect naturally with the living areas of the rest of the property.
And then here we have the 3-story spiral staircase, but first, Arman, come over this way so I can talk about the glass facade. Just like regular construction, you need to have a supporting column. And the glass column here is actually made out of 2 glass panes. Then on the floor, they've attached it with this stainless steel hardware. And this column carries the weight of these massive glass panels. Now, these panels are supported by the trim that's on the floor, and you can see the rubber gasket in between. That way, when they bolt these glass panels to the floor, they're not pressurizing the glass too much, because then it will crack. And that's why it's important to have this rubber gasket. And you can also see the same rubber gasket application here as well. And the stainless steel hardware actually goes through on each side so that it can gain as much support from the column and also carry the weight of these glass panels. I mean, it's a really cool feature. And also on these walls, they used a different hardware, bolted to the travertine section here and adjusted them and get this massive section perfectly level and perfectly balanced. I mean, this is definitely a distinct feature, and I love the fact that it highlights the 3-story spiral staircase here. That way you can enjoy this architectural element even from the exterior of the property. And we just don't see glass facades like this in residential homes.
For good reasons, because we don't want to live in an Apple store. Now, I think this glass facade was a great idea because they achieved so much with it. First, they bring light to this floor, which is super important. It's against the hill. Like, you got to bring natural light to it. So good decision. Second, you show off your beautiful spiral staircase, which I love. I think it's beautifully executed. It brings architectural integrity to the property. It distracts from the fact that it's a 3-story building and distracts from those ugly elements on the 3rd floor. So it just brings attention to the center. It showcases the facade of the building. All very positives. But the sad thing again here is that I don't think even it's going to get used by you if you purchase it or by your guests. Because if you live here yourself, you're going to park the car over here in the garage and then you're going to walk this way. Are you going to walk out of your way this way to take the stairs to go to your living room? Or are you just going to go straight to the elevator? Either case, it sucks. Like, I don't want to take the elevator every day to go to my house. Like, yeah, you understand how annoying that is? Like, we're talking about a single family home in Atherton here, okay? So super annoying. And second, when your guests come over here, you have to take these stairs down or the elevator down, grab their hand, and are you going to push them through the stairs or are you going to make them take the elevator? Or is it the most convenient just walk them through the backyard? I really think the walkway to the backyard is the best way to show the property to your guests, which again makes this place unusable. You're not going to use it.
Now, on the other side, right behind the staircase, we have the elevator that goes up to all 3 levels. And coming to this hallway, to my left, we have the mudroom. And the door here opens up to the 4-car garage.
Which is tandem and very annoying, meaning what? Your 2 daily drivers are going to be on the outside, right? Your, let's say, classical cars, your nice cars are going to be on the inside because you don't want to take them out all the time, every time, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to come drive into your driveway, get out the groceries, and then you have to tiptoe between your 2 classical cars and go into the front. And then at that point, you got to make a decision. Am I going to take the elevator home upstairs to my actual living quarters, or am I going to take this spiral stairway? And I think 99% of the time, you're going to take that elevator. And that area is never going to get used.
Now follow me this way. Really nice powder room with a separate water closet. And then we have a storage closet and the screening room. It's a very cozy space. 2-tier seating, fabric walls, these oak panels with mood lighting, your projectors on the other side, and these 2 long sofas are from Roche Bobois, a French brand. And not only they're very comfortable, they also have some quirky features. Let's focus on this one right here. First off, if you want to be a little bit more comfortable, isn't that nice?
Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, there is actually a hardware on the back. That way you can move it up and down very easily. This is also motorized. You can extend the footrest and make yourself very comfortable. Now, I'm a big believer in using screening rooms or movie theaters to watch TV or your favorite show rather than just watching movies, because these are phenomenal spaces. And in so many of the homes that we tour, I feel like screening rooms are underutilized.
Do you know why, Enes? Because they put them in areas where it doesn't connect with the natural areas where you hang out. Like here, like this is prime example. This is not going to get used. Why would you bring yourself, your guests from the kitchen area all the way to this kind of a basement lobby area to watch a movie? If you don't position your screening room movie theater next to your living quarters, you should think of it as a media room instead of a movie theater. You would use it so much more, okay? And this is a prime example of where not to put your movie theater.
The second floor, or the main floor of this property, is really open. Ton of natural light coming in. At the end, we have our 56-foot pool, and this level is all about connectivity to the outdoors. This section fully opens up. I love the fact that they've curved this wall here, which just gives it a softer aesthetic given that this is a contemporary home.
I like the millwork. It really does try to make the house earthy, and most importantly, it's definitely better than, I would say, 90% of brand new construction homes in the Bay Area. They're spending the money on the finishes. They've hired the LA-based, Beverly Hills-based interior design architect team to what? To give that cooler aesthetic to this Atherton home, because I consult in the Bay Area and I can tell you, they just need to step it up when it comes to finishes, to palettes and everything. And this looks a lot more earthier than most of their new construction homes in the Bay.
And over here we have the formal dining room. You have your solid wood walnut table, seating for 8. And I like that we have double height ceilings here with a massive picture window and a skylight. So it's very bright, but also you can appreciate and interact with the outdoors.
Not really, because the pocket doors pocket right in front of the entrance of your main living quarters. Like, how did that happen? Come on. Like, you really delayed the entrance and you convince your guests to walk up this spiral stairway to this level, and then the glass pockets over here. Why doesn't it pocket in the wall? And this is, by the way, to me, it looks more like a rooftop than a backyard. It's really weird. But most importantly, pay attention to how much usable area you actually have. To me, where they've put the dining room, that's really a hallway to the other area over there. Pay attention, if you actually lived in this home, how much of the square footage you would actually spend time in.
Now, next up, we have the living room. 2 curved sofas, linear gas fireplace, and this section is wrapped with onyx. Now, onyx is a soft and a translucent stone, meaning you can easily backlight it. Other aspect of this room that I really like is how open it is. This corner has 2 sliding glass doors that pocket into the walls.
Is that a good thing? Because I'm trying to figure out, what is this area for? Why would you actually sit over here? Because the fireplace is blocking your view to the swimming pool. And then you're looking into this little courtyard area. I think it's closed where it should have been open. So you could have had a direct line of sight to the swimming pool, because right now your ethanol or gas fireplace is blocking your view to the swimming pool. And it's open where it should have been closed, where you could have had a fireplace or an actual indoor-outdoor bar to bring that fun element to the backyard. Because this is your rooftop backyard on the second floor. And this whole wing of it, remember, you have to go cross to this side of the property. It's disconnected by this hallway, which they decided to kind of give it utility by putting the dining table over here. Otherwise, why would you even cross over here, right? Like, this is really a really comfortable hallway. So to me, they've just opened it up for the sake of opening it up. Just because you can open it doesn't mean you should open it. I believe You took out the functionality out of this room. If it was your formal living space, okay, or your fun living space, by opening it up.
We also have access to the staircase here. Now, I talked about the staircase when we were at the motor court. There's a small seating area here that's very cozy.
Dude, this is so sloped. Like you would slide down those freaking outdoor furniture to the drain over here, and it's perfectly framed for the electrical poles. Like they're just trying to put grass to compensate for the fact that they don't have any backyard, right? So you would think there's a lot of outdoor areas. The only way you would ever use a space would be like a bouncy house for the kids for birthdays. That's it.
Now, next up, we have our 56-foot pool, pebble tech finish. So the plaster is very easy on the eye. Buy a shelf here with these lounging beds, incorporated hot tub, and they also have this mosaic tiling detail around the perimeter of the hot tub as well as the pool. So it adds a little bit more dimensionality. Your motorized pool cover, which is always a nice touch given that this area can get cold. There might be a few months in a year that you don't use your pool, so you can easily cover it up. And the last detail I want to point out here is the section that's right above us. Since they installed those two 65-foot massive steel beams, they also took advantage of it to bring additional features. That right there is a water feature. That way you can bring another water element to your pool experience. You can enjoy the sound of the water. That are also built-in speakers, recessed and lights, and they also have a lot of security cameras throughout the property. I mean, if you own an estate like this, security is certainly going to be something that you pay attention to.
Okay, the coolest thing about this property tour so far is the swimming pool. The scale, the dimension, I love it. It feels more like a rooftop pool than an actual swimming pool, but I take it. But what I do have a problem with it is that the rest of the property is really ignoring it. You see, that seating arrangement we looked at earlier is facing completely the other way and is blocked by the fireplace. And then this area is all empty. It's not really talking to it. And then at the same time, the dining table is over there, which is not something you would associate with the swimming pool. So it's completely separate. Like they left it alone. And to me, that's not like that indoor-outdoor flow and energy that you were going for.
Now next, I want to quickly bring everybody to this side so we can talk about this massive living wall. Arman, how do I look against the living wall?
You look tiny, actually.
I mean, it's definitely a bold statement. It is certainly a creative design choice, but it brings so much life and energy to this side of the home.
This is critical because they're using the live wall just like they used it on the ground level. Let me explain. That's a retainer wall, okay? They're chunking off, they're cutting off the hill to create flat areas in it, and they're retaining it. And to cover this ugly retainer wall, they've put a live wall so you would look at it as a beautiful backdrop to the swimming pool. Great execution.
Now, let's go to the other side. There's a really nice outdoor shower here.
This is not an outdoor shower. This is a vitrine. It's a storefront for the whole house. People in the swimming pool watch you wash yourself. Why? This is zero privacy. Why did you make it a centerpiece?
Now over here, we have the first seating area. Above us is this massive bridge that connects this wing of the top floor to the other side. That's another bold design element. And again, as we're walking around, please keep this in mind. They can only accomplish these massive spans with steel beams and columns. If you strip the exterior facade, get rid of the stucco and travertine, you'll end up with concrete walls, concrete foundation, and heavy-duty steel beams and columns. And that's why it's so hard to pull off a project like this. You're retaining a hillside, you're working with these heavy, dense materials. It's hard to form these walls and fabricate these steel beams and columns. This is definitely not an easy project to pull off.
Nobody cares. The buyers don't care. The buyers don't care about your steel beams. They don't care about how big of a span you can cover. They don't care about your concrete. They don't care about hillside problems. They don't care about any of that stuff. They care about how a home makes them feel. And you can trick them optically with a swimming pool on the upper level and a terrace that might look like a backyard. But once they move in, they will find out. I'll promise you. Because when the wife calls the husband, it's like, can you take the stairs down to open the door, see who's outside? Okay. Or when the kids don't have enough room to play around, when they move to Atherton and they paid $57.5 million, it's a problem. But problem is something that engineers love to solve. And that's why a lot of times these properties get built when they shouldn't be built. I can tell you how I think this property was created. Somebody saw a good deal. or they thought it was a good deal. They're like, wow, $4.5 million for an acre lot in Atherton? That's a great deal. You know, when the lots were trading hands, probably somewhere around, $7 to $9 million when this property was purchased. And guess what? They're most likely an engineer, and they're like, you know what? We can solve problems. We can fix this up. Just because you can do it, that doesn't mean you should. Okay, let me give you guys a listing price opinion and fair market price opinion for this property. If you live in the Bay Area, the biggest percentage pool of people in my inner circle are tech executive. In fact, I have 5 tech CEO founders and many VP engineers who are either buying or designing their dream home. If you want to apply, here's the QR code, fill out the application. I would love to get on a call with you and see if you're a right fit for the project. I don't think this property should have been ever listed above $35 million. A probably more realistic price should have been $29 million. I personally wouldn't pay anything more than $24.9 million for this property because the buyer pool in this location for this property is really, really small. And you will find more about that in part 2, where I will link over here and I'll have the QR code over here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the comments. Take care.